Bitcoin is starting to break out of this massive downtrend right here on the 4-hourly time frame, on the 1-hour time frame. But today we need to discuss some very important news here, because today is the day that the US inflation data is going to be hitting the markets. And just like I discussed in yesterday's video, this data is going to be determining what is going to be happening for the entire month of crypto and the classic stock market. Because if this is going to come in any hotter than expected, recession fears are going to be skyrocketing even higher. So that is why I will be talking about that on today's update video. The most important charts on Bitcoin, the Fear and Greed Index, the Bitcoin spot ETF inflows, the massive amounts of funding that is actually showing us right now that Bitcoin is heavily getting shorted. And typically speaking, this is going to be indicating that Bitcoin is most likely going to create another move towards the upside. So I'm going to be discussing the most important charts, patterns, and many more important things. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap that like button back above 1,000 likes. It will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So first of all, if we're looking at Bitcoin on the imminent short term, yesterday I discussed this very important compression which we were creating on the 1-hour time frame, and clearly you can see that after we compressed on the downward sloping resistance line, after we of course compressed on the upward sloping support line, Bitcoin came towards a decision that it is breaking upwards, and after it broke the downtrend, it straight away saw a significant pump towards the upside like we were expecting, of course. And ever since the breakout, Bitcoin is actually up over 2.5% here, which is of course quite interesting to be seeing. And that is once again showing us that these patterns are very much well created and designed of trading Bitcoin correctly. So yes, the breakout happened. I do still believe we're going to probably see an even bigger surge towards the upside, but I believe that also right now on the 4-hourly time frame, we officially have not cleared the most important resistance yet here, which is of course the downward sloping resistance line right here, which flipped into support, then here saw us 3 times in a row getting rejected again here. So yes, this is actually quite an important level, which I want to be pointing out as well, that indeed on the 1-hour time frame we broke above this level, and on this perspective we broke the downtrend, but still on this level right here we have not confirmed the break above it. And what is maybe even more important is that I'm going to be approaching it as a horizontal level, of course, right? So we need to be breaking above the horizontal high here of 62 to 63,000 US dollars, which is of course, if you're going to be then putting it on the daily time frame, going to be this very important level right here. And you can clearly see that this level I currently drew, the gray box on the market, has clearly in the past provided resistance, provided support, resistance right here, also big resistance right here, then into support right here, and now is once again flipping into resistance. So this level that I'm drawing, I'm not just drawing it out of nowhere. No, this is maybe one of the most important levels of resistance of this entire consolidation phase for Bitcoin. So yes, the level we want to be breaking above is clearly that 62 to 63,000 US dollar level on the horizontal basis, and that is potentially going to be happening today if the data is going to come in good here, because today we're going to be having the US inflation data, and this is going to be happening on 3:30 p.m. UTC 3+ time. So it's important to understand when this is happening, because this is going to be having massive effects on the market. First of all, if we're looking about what the consensus currently is, it is that actually the core inflation and the normal inflation is going to be dropping by 0.1% over the course of the year on year. So that is actually a good thing. But if the reality is going to be that it is going to come in at the same rates as last time, or if it's going to come in even hotter than that, I think recession fears are going to significantly increase. Markets are going to see a very big drop, but also vice versa. If it is maybe going to come in colder than expected, or if it is going to come in at the consensus, I do believe that the market is actually going to be seeing a significant upturn. So there are two very big things that could be happening today, and I believe that near the end of the day, so near the stock market open, this data is going to come out. We're also going to be seeing much more volatility hitting the markets. So I'm going to be closely looking towards that. And if you want to be staying up to date about what the inflation data is going to be, follow me on X and make sure that you put the notifications on, because I will be posting it first on X out of everyone out there. So make sure to follow me over there if you want to be staying up to date about all the news. But currently, if we're looking at the daily time frame, Bitcoin is starting to be bouncing back towards the upside, and this very well could mean we are starting to create the first higher low of this consolidation phase, which is of course a very great thing to be seeing for Bitcoin. But still, on a bigger perspective of it all, we just want to be seeing Bitcoin break above that red box here. That is basically the same gray box I just drew, but this time it is red. It's basically the same here. But what we want to be seeing is that Bitcoin breaks above that level right there. But potentially after the news of today, it could be happening if it is going to be coming in positive. And still, the market is extremely fearful at this moment of time. And of course, we do know whenever the market is fearful, we should be greedy. We can still see that the spot Bitcoin ETF is accumulating Bitcoin, especially BlackRock and Fidelity. They are buying the most amount of Bitcoins, but still a large amount of accumulation is going on here. And actually the BTC ETF, so the mini grayscale ETF with the lowest fees out there, is actually not performing that good here, what we were actually expecting. So interesting to see how that is playing out. And then also a quick update on the Ethereum ETF. We actually saw more than $24 million worth of inflows on the Ethereum ETF here, which was by far the 5th largest day inflow we have seen so far here. And this is also confirming the second day inflow streak on that spot Ethereum ETF, with once again BlackRock buying the most amount of Ethereum this time around here. And then guys, still I want to be opening up a new trading position on Bitcoin, but for my big trades I am still going to be very patient to be opening up my $2 million trading position on Bitcoin. But whenever Bitcoin is going to potentially fall down here, I am most certainly going to be doing so. So if you're right now subscribed to the channel, you're going to be knowing exactly when I'm going to be opening up my new trade here. But if you want to be trading yourself, make sure to go to the link description of today's video. If you press on the highest link below, you will come to this page where you can claim a free $500 airdrop position on top of the $30,000 deposit bonus you already can claim on the Bybit exchange. If you're interested in that, make sure to go to the link description of today's video and sign up an account here. Then let me dive a little bit further in towards the content, and that is first of all discussing the funding rates, because currently we can see that the funding rates not only on Bitcoin but also on many other altcoins are actually extremely negative here. And what this basically means here is that the market is heavily getting shorted. And if I put this perspective on a chart, you can clearly see the funding rates are actually quite negative right now here. Funding rates, they stay negative in a bear market. They go usually very positive in a bull market. But just like you can see in, for example, in the last cycle, here we had negative funding rates, which was a very good buying opportunity. Then we went positive again here. Then also over here we had negative funding rates. Then we went positive because we were in that bull market. Always once the funding rates are negative, guys, it is a very good opportunity to actually accumulate Bitcoin and altcoins because they're heavily getting shorted. And if something heavily gets shorted, first of all, if those short positions are going to get closed out, the market is going to be shooting up higher already. Second of all, there could be a massive short squeeze coming, which is of course usually the thing that happens on Bitcoin, and that would cause the market to ultimately push higher. Then also a quick look on Tether. Yesterday they actually minted another dollars and they only paid 53 cents in gas fees for it. So more and more Tether is getting printed, and of course this is not printed out of thin air. They're using this as inventory. So yeah, still it is not necessarily that Bitcoin is going to be pushing towards the upside whenever they're going to be minting $1 billion, but still it is growing the ecosystem. More money in the ecosystem is more liquidity, and more liquidity is of course higher prices eventually. So liquidity is still increasing in crypto, and that is of course exactly what we want to be seeing, because over the long term, that is why Bitcoin is going to be pushing up higher. Then this chart, I want to be still showing at you guys, the hash ribbons are flashing a buy signal. I want to be stamping this in your head because this signal is an historical signal, and always once it flashes, Bitcoin goes up here. Not directly, but in the coming 2 to 3 months ahead of ourselves, it always goes up here. So the Bitcoin hash ribbon buy signal is currently flashing, and I want you to know this right now here. Then at the same time, we're seeing the MACD flipping bearish, but just like I discussed in yesterday's video, I believe that this is just a slight little bearish crossover and more a bigger fake out on the chart here. And right now we're creating by far the largest head and shoulders pattern. You could even call it a cup and handle pattern if you just don't look to the left shoulder. But we're creating the largest head and shoulders pattern Bitcoin has ever created. And this is ultimately also going to be sending the prices higher. We're just waiting for this consolidation to end. But I know for sure whenever this consolidation ends, guys, we are going to get fireworks. And I believe it is probably going to be ending somewhere around November 2024, because November 2024, we're going to get the US elections. And what one thing for sure is for the stock market, but also for crypto, always whenever we are having a US election, it is having a massive effect on the stock market. And this time around, I think that if we're going to be having a crypto favorite president, which could be a possibility, it could definitely very well send Bitcoin towards the moon. Literally, quite literally. And right now, if we're looking towards the odds, I think everything can still change here. We're going to be looking closely towards this, but yeah, very interesting what is playing out here. And if this consolidation phase is going to be lasting for till November, we're literally going to be seeing another 83 days of very boring consolidation, but I guess it is part of where we're currently sitting in. So yes, maybe it's still going to be taking very long here, but one thing is for sure, the breakout is going to be only bigger and bigger the longer the consolidation is here. And Bitcoin is consolidating around all-time highs, which is also a very good thing here. So all the people that want to get out right now, they get out, and then we can after that go towards the new highs here. So this was it from me in today's video. If you did learn something from it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.